When we do horrible things in our favourite games, I like to think the developers expect us to react like this.
What have I done?
But from my experience, it's more like this. For me, being an absolute psycho in games is a major form of entertainment. So with that being the case, I decided to try and beat Outer Worlds as a psychopath. The rules are the same as my Fallout New Vegas one. If an NPC talks to me, they have to die. The only exception to this rule is Phineas, because I can either kill him or Sophia, and I would rather keep Phineas alive. Eat the rich, am I right? Let's get started. Similar to last time, I'm going for an all-rounder build, because I'm going to need to have as many options as possible to eliminate my targets. You'll see why in a bit. I also made Minnie the Maniac again. Her lust for bloodshed is so powerful, it can tear the fabric of reality and allow her passage into other worlds. After Doc Brown wakes me from my coma, he sends me down to Terra to paint the town red. Quite literally. The first person to become a statistic in the game of Chaos is Captain Hawthorne, which is lucky for me because I am in need of a ship. After making my way into a cave, I come across Pelham, who's the whiniest little rat on the planet. So after convincing him to give me his gun, I put him out of his misery. Then I run into Lieutenant Mercer at the Unreliable, and threaten to give her a bad Yelp review if she doesn't help me kill the raiders gathered around my ship. After taking them out myself anyway, I cut her head off. After introducing myself to Ada, and ramming my knife into Ernest's cerebellum for saying hello to me, I head to Edgewater to ask Thompson if I can borrow his energy regulator. And Parvati decides to chime in mid-conversation, so now she has to die as well. As per usual, you can't get something for nothing. So I'm going to have to decide the fates of Edgewater and the Botanical Lab if I want to get my hands on that regulator. And leaving that choice to me is an incredibly stupid idea. After some minor run-ins with the local chavs, I finally arrive at the lab, and immediately start the slaughter, because I'm going to have to speak to Adelaide anyway, and this way I get to cut out the middleman. Once everyone's dead, I make my way to the geothermal plant, and after dealing with the Bionicles guarding the place, turning on the power, putting Higgins 6 feet under and stealing his hammer, I redirect all the power to the Botanical Lab so no one can use it. Then on the way back to Edgewater, I deal with some of the local wildlife.
Monkey!
After Thompson tells me how I've doomed everyone in town, I bash in his skull along with his lackeys in the generator room. After stealing the regulator, I turn Parvati's frontal lobe into jam, then proceed to eliminate everyone else in town, including Vicar Max. I can't risk anyone seeking revenge on me now, can I? Plus, dead men tell no tales, so I should be fine if the bobbies come sniffing at my door. After heading back to the ship, I install the regulator and take off for redder pastures. Then Phineas tasks me with finding the nav key for Stellar Bay. So I'm off to the groundbreaker to have a chat with Gladys. When I get there, Corporal Wheeler tells me that my ship is impounded, so I'll have to deal with him and my ship in a minute. But first, I have a chat with Gladys about getting the nav key. But she wants a whopping 10 grand for it, the greedy bastard. Now I don't even have a quarter of that amount, so I'm going to have to do a quest for her to get my hands on it. So now it looks like I'm headed to Roseway to check out a distress call. Some of you might be saying, "Oi, Moosey, you invalid, you can get the nav key from Gladys's safe." Well, I thought that when I first played it, but it's actually not in there, so I will 100% have to do her quest or buy it. But first, I need to get my ship back. So I head into Bedford's office and bash his guard's skulls into dust. Then put him out to pasture as well so I can get the password for his terminal to remove the impound order on my ship. Then I realign Wheeler's spine. Upon my return to the ship, Phil expects me to join my crew. But if there's one thing I can't stand, it's brown nosing. So I beat 7 bales of shit out of him. After making my way to Roseway, I come across Anton, who's a snidey little shit, because he cancelled the distress call. So he's either hiding something, or he tried to pull a prank call. Either way, I'm going to get to the bottom of this and kick him so hard in his backside he'll be able to taste the leather on my boots. After intimidating him into telling me what's going on, he tasks me with finding his research on some diet toothpaste. What a great way to spend my time. After taking out a gang of reprobates, I enter the secret lab that's infested with dumb lizards and even dumber raiders. After putting down the Raptidon matriarch and clearing out the rest of the invalids that want to turn me inside out, I come across Cassandra. Turns out, she's got Anton's research, and she isn't going to give it to me. So I unlock her cell and shatter her jaw into 1,000 pieces for being a cheeky little shit. After grabbing the research, I come across some corporate soldiers. Admittedly, I forgot they were in here and kinda ran in guns blazing and killed them all by accident. And this might have ruined the quest, because despite grabbing Anton's research, when I return to Roseway, everyone is hostile, including Anton. So now, I have to kill them all. Once Roseway is dripping in the crimson rivers of life, I return to Gladys to get my reward, which turns out to be a measly 3 grand. Now, obviously, that's not a small amount of bits, but considering the fact that she wants 10 bloody grand to get the nav key, nah, I'm not okay with this. This will not go unpunished, and the punishment is the absolute destruction of her home, her business, and her relationships. All will end in blood. For using me as a puppet, she will suffer in limbo, an eternity of solitude to think on the consequences of her actions, surrounded by the graves that she herself dug the second she decided to play me for a fool. Now that I've exhausted my only option to safely travel to Stellar Bay,
activating contingency plan DM-17. Captain is a psychopath.
Phineas tells me to speak to Nyoka to help me get through Monarch to get to Devil's Peak, which means she's going to have quite a bad day. Also, I get a broadcast from Graham, but I'll deal with him later. Arriving on Monarch, I sprint all the way to Stellar Bay and have a chat with Nyoka. She tells me how to get to Devil's Peak to meet the information broker. Then I cure her of her alcoholism. After killing everyone else in town, I make my way to Satan's Nipple. On the way, I get rid of more yobbos and some of the local fauna. And as a nice bonus, Western Sloane. When I finally get to my destination, I have to clear out all the current lodgers, which is a piece of piss. Once I do, I have a nice chat with Hiram Blythe about getting some information on the whereabouts of some chemicals for Phineas. But unfortunately for me, I can't get said information without first doing some labour. I have to eliminate 2 factions from clogging up the airwaves, so Hiram can send the information over to Phineas. But on the bright side, I only have to take out one of them now because I already eliminated the other one earlier. So I'm off to Amber Heights. When I get there, Rose starts preaching to me about hokey religions. This annoyed me. So when I get into Graham's office, I don't even talk to him. I just start blasting. And then I take out the rest of the town, including Rose. In fact, I actively looked for her corpse just to make sure I got her. Upon my return to Devil's Peak, I activate the radio, witness a ship crash, then put one right between Hiram's eyes. After half-inching the targeting module from the cantankerous Candid, I head to Phineas's lab to have a good old chinwag with him. He tells me that I need to head to Byzantium to steal the chemicals he needs for some science bollocks. To be honest, I don't really give a shit about that. I just want to cause some chaos. When I get to my destination, I speak to Carmen, Phineas's contact. And she's quite hyperactive about this cloak and dagger waffle. She tells me to head to the minister's house to talk to him. So after shoving the sharp end of my scythe into her neck, I head over there. Then this sentinel guard decides to talk to me. So now the stealth option has gone right out the window. Despite this, I head through the back entrance anyway to at least try and get the drop on my target. It actually worked really well, because I managed to beeline for his office and drive my scythe into his eye socket. After dealing with his guards, I grab his access card to Trump Towers and head over there for the heist of the century. The problem is, there's only one way in, and I have to talk to one of the guards to get in there without being spotted. So I just killed them all instead. When I get inside, I kill all the guards on the first floor, then I have to apply the old hit and run technique to deal with the guards upstairs, because there are quite a few of them and they can dish out a lot of damage very quickly. Once they're in the ground, I find out that the chairman of the board, get this, is actually evil. Wait, so you're telling me the big corporation is bad? Oh shit. Man, I would have never guessed that. After heading down to the lower levels, which, to my surprise, I actually managed to sneak through. And even though my disguise failed a couple of times, I managed to talk my way out of it and kill the guards that spoke to me without anyone else knowing. I make it to the chemicals and transfer all of it to the container, killing the humans inside the vats in the process. Ah well, fuck 'em. After grabbing the container, I head back to the ship and return to Phineas. And faster than you can say slave labour, he sends me back out again. This time he wants me to bring the ship from whence I came to his lab. So after heading there and dealing with the local Legos, I patch Ada into the mainframe and we jump to Phineas's lab. Upon arriving, Phineas gets raided by the FBI for having every single episode of the Tweenies on his computer. So I race back to save him. After killing all the bobbies, I open his secret hatch and pick up the nav key to Tartarus. After heading there, my ship gets impounded again. Then the difficulty kicks me right in the coin purse. I'm joking about it now, but in the moment, I swear to God, this was probably the most frustrated I've been playing through one of these runs. Up until now, I've died a couple of times, but for the most part, this run has been easy. Not this part. Oh no, I died more times in this part than I have collectively in all my videos, and that's no exaggeration. Eventually, I had to resort to hiding behind the landing gear of my ship and taking them out one by one. Am I proud of it? No. Was it effective? Yes. After killing the guards that impounded me and decided to brag about it on a Zoom call, I made my way deeper into the compound, which I managed to sneak through for the most part, aside from a few lone guards that ended up riddled with bullets. When I get to the pit, I sneak through it without being spotted once, which I'm actually quite proud of. Then I bump into Chairman Rockwell, and oh boy, I've been waiting to kill this bastard. To the point that I skip through his dialogue really fast, just to turn him into Swiss cheese. After making my way past the next section, I'm finally able to confront Sophia, who just starts droning on about shit that I don't care about in the slightest. To get to her though, I have to get through her pet. This fight was a breeze compared to the docking bay incident earlier. It took a while to whittle him down, mind, but I managed to get him first try. Then I enter Sophia's office and kill her faster than you can say ow that hurt. Then I save Phineas, and the game recaps all my terrible decisions to me. And with that, I beat Outer Worlds as a psychopath. I love playing games like this. It's fun to see the reactions the dev wrote into the NPCs based on the choices you make. And equally as fun to murder a bunch of pixels that slightly annoy you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe? It helps out the channel massively. Plus, if you turn on the notification bell, you get to watch more juicy content from yours truly when it releases. I also have a Discord server. The link will be in the description and in my channel bio. If you want to support me further, consider joining as a channel member. You get early access to videos, and a mention in them for being such a legend. If there's a specific video you want to see, or you just want to have a chat, drop a comment down below, or message the Discord server. And I'll see you next time.